Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode where we have another Champions League group stage draw and we'll take on the first team in that group stage in today's episode. So welcome back, hope you're all doing well. Make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Since you were last here, we've not done a whole lot. We've played a couple of games, but we'll talk more about that when we get to the Champions League games later on. In terms of transfers, nothing new happening there. A couple of players going out on loan here and there, but they're all young players who we don't really care too much about. So everything right now is running pretty smoothly. Hopefully that continues in the Champions League group stage where we are a number one seed, which is fantastic. So let's draw all the number one seeds straight away. We are into Group B, which is a beautiful group. Now, what is very good news is that Celtic have moved themselves into a second seeded team. I think before they were third seed, they're now second seed, which is fantastic to see. So hopefully they get put into a group with Ajax. I feel like Ajax would be one of the more easier teams out of these teams to beat. So hopefully they get drawn with Ajax. I would like anyone. We won the Club World Championships. I'd take anyone, but Borussia Dortmund for me would be a team I'd quite like to face because we did thrash them in the Club World Championships. It is Real Madrid in Group A, Atletico in Group B. Now, we beat them in the semi-finals of the Club World Championships, but they're a pretty decent side nonetheless. Juventus go in with Ajax, so that means that Celtic are going to have a pretty difficult group unless they go in with Valencia maybe, but they go in with AC Milan, who are pretty decent, so that might be tough. Rangers have also made it into the Champions League group stage again. So once again, 3 Scottish teams in the Champions League group stage. I'd quite like for them to be in Group D. That would be quite a nice group for them. And again, I don't really mind who we get. Rangers, though, go into Group A. You couldn't have asked for a more difficult group, that is very... Or saying that, we have beaten Real Madrid. And actually, we have knocked them out of the Champions League before as well. So maybe they might do okay. I'm not quite sure how good Liverpool are right now. We've not really had much chance to play them. But on paper, that is a very difficult group, I would say. We are going to get Monaco, which is pretty decent, actually, because that's a French team. And of course, we are competing with those French clubs. The rest of the draw, though, Roma in C, Leipzig in D. Celtic get Porto, so that's quite a kind draw for them there. Hoffenheim in F, Salzburg in G, and Villarreal in H. And looking at this, there's no more French teams. So it's just PSG and Monaco in the Champions League group stage where we've got 3 Scottish clubs. Well, look what that means for the coefficient points shortly. As for the 4th seeded teams, Rangers are going to get CSK Moscow. So I back them to get at least 3rd in that group. We get Sparta Prague, so that should be a routine win for us. Galatasaray in C, Benfica in D. Celtic get Club Brugge. Right, I really expect them to come top 2. Porto might give them a run for their money because Porto have a lot of wonder kids and good players. But I would really fancy Celtic to get through that one, 2nd at the very minimum. Young Boys in F, Lech in G, and then finishing it off is Napoli in H. There we go, confirmation of our draw, looking very nice. I reckon it'll be us and Atletico going through, knocking Monaco and Sparta Prague out. As for the Europa League, Kilmarnock are the only team in there, and they've been drawn against Olympiacos, Lyon and Hertha Berlin. I think they're going to be quite tough. I can't really see them not coming bottom of that group. It's a big shame as well because obviously they need to knock Lyon out to do us some favours with the coefficient points, but that's the way it's going to be. So I imagine Lyon and Hertha going through from that one. Are there any more French teams in the Europa League? Yes, as Lille and Nice, so 3 teams in the Europa League compared to our 1. And then in the Europa Conference League, I believe it's just Hibs who've been drawn against Olympia, Kimki and Betis. They should get through that group, I would imagine. Unfortunately, Hearts were also in the Europa Conference League. They got knocked out in the qualifying rounds to Sporting, who go into Group A. And if that was them in Group A, they'd have won it. Oh, it's so frustrating. But again, looking for French clubs down here, there is just one in Marseille. So, I don't know. I think we're looking quite good for coefficient points. I don't know if we actually got any for winning the Club World Championships? I don't think we did. But you never know. As maybe we did. Because as it stands right now, heading into this season, Scotland 61.8 points, France 60.25. Now this could all change. If French teams win the Europa League, the Europa Conference League and the Champions League, it's likely they will go and stay well ahead of us. But this is looking promising right now. The base level of teams qualified were doing better than France. We just have to keep it up for the rest of the season, and 5th place in the coefficient standings will be ours. What does that mean? Well, nothing changes in the Champions League, but we get 2 teams going straight through to the group stages of the Europa League, and we get 1 going straight through into the playoff round, the final qualification round of the Europa Conference League. So it basically just means more teams have a better chance of getting European football at a higher level. Once we've done that, it's then Germany we need to chase down for 4 Champions League group stage places. And if we're honest with ourselves, let's go back. We're only 12 points off Germany. It's not too far. Obviously, this does mean that Germany have 4 teams in the Champions League group stage, 1 more than us. So we need German teams to have a terrible Champions League. They've obviously got 1 more team in the Europa League as well, because we've got 1, they've got 2. So we need to do better than them there, but I don't think we will. Really, it's just the Champions League we need to do better than, because there's not really much we can do when it comes to Europa League and Europa Conference League. We both have 1 team in the Conference League. In fact, we've got, well, we should have had 2. We've only got 1 in the actual group stage. So, I don't know. We need the German teams to have a shocking Champions League, basically. And of course, we need Celtic and Rangers to do incredible stuff. So, for the games in today's episode, I have decided that we're going to do 2 of the biggest clubs in world football, beginning with M. Monaco and Motherwell. We'll do Motherwell in today's episode too. As you can see, these are the games that we've played so far this season, and apart from the Livingston game, it's been phenomenal. We started off, as you saw last time, with a 4-0 win over Hamilton before we rotated the team, but that shouldn't result in a 1-1 draw with Livingston. A really bizarre game, this one, where they scored very late on, despite their 1 shot on... Oh, I hate this. 1 shot on target from them, goal. 41 shots from us, 1 goal. It was a real FMing, and you can see their keeper on an 8.1 rating. He played a blinder. But since then, we've made the most of our shots. A 5-1 victory over Hamilton in the Betfred Cup second round is the first time in 2 or 3 seasons we've actually got past the second round of the Betfred Cup. Kilmarnock beat them 6-0, and St Mirren, we beat them 7-0. The team is just superb. So despite the draw, we are sitting on top of the table with 10 points to our name. Dunfermline, surprisingly, are in second right now with 3 wins, 1 loss. Rangers just behind them on 8 points, and then Celtic on 7. You'll also be pleased to know that in terms of goals scored this season, this does include the Club World Championships, but Domancic is our 3rd highest goal scorer with 6 goals so far this season as a centre-back. You love to see it. The coaches also rate him as a 5-star player now alongside Jan Cavalcanti, so it's pretty mental how these 2 are actual 5-star quality players, which is amazing. This then is the team taking on Motherwell, and for me it is the best team that we actually have. A few players are looking quite tired because international break's just gone on, so they've been playing on international break, so a little tired, but it should be okay for a game against Motherwell. Peter, the new Brazilian first choice, is in goal, made his first cap for Brazil over the international break that's just been, so great to see him getting some caps. A new look backline to an extent, with Van Steen, Domancic, Alexandro and de Klerk in that backline. Tamalumpa and Sissoko in the middle. La Cruz, Cavalcanti and Alien in the attacking midfield, with Varela leading the line. So, kickoff is upon us here today, looking to try and beat Motherwell, who haven't really had an easy time in the past few seasons, not really establishing themselves as a top-tier team in Scotland, which I think that we're very disappointed with as Jan Cavalcanti opens up the scoring already with his 13th of the season. It's actually been Hibs and Hearts who have probably made the most of all of the, additional players and revenues and interest in the Scottish leagues. They are usually 4th or 5th in the division and usually do pretty well in Europe as well. And then that final sort of qualification place sort of goes to anyone. I mean, this season actually, or this previous season, Kilmarnock ended up coming 4th in the table as Sissoko scores an absolute screamer. Kilmarnock came 4th though, which is why they're in the Europa League this season. So they had a very good season last time out, but it's usually Hearts and Hibs now who are kind of, I guess, us Celtic Rangers are the tier 1 teams in this division. That goal is just so good. And then behind them it is Hearts and Hibs as kind of those tier 2 teams. And then, I don't know, another team in there. I guess Kilmarnock are up there every now and again, but Hamilton sometimes sneak in. I think St Mirren have snuck into the top 6 every now and again. So I guess they're kind of like the tier 3 teams. And it's your Dundee Uniteds and your Motherwells, your Dunfermlines, who are usually the sort of, I'm going to call them tier 4 teams in the division. But the thing is, they are all getting better slowly, which is great. And it's great to see them do very well in Europe too every now and again. Of course, Celtic and Rangers have gone on to win Europa Leagues, which is pretty decent. As we've scored another goal, Sebastian Varela gets it. I'm not quite sure how it went in the back of the net, but it does stand for the 3rd of the game. McLumper to the Clerk, who puts the ball into the middle, does he? No, he plays it to McLumper, who puts it in the middle. And then I think maybe the defender kicks it into Varela. You can't really see very well from this angle, but that's what it seemed to be. Either way, we are 3-0 up at half-time, and it's just showing you like how fantastic we are in the league this season, apart from against Livingston. Well, no, that's a lie. We played brilliantly against Livingston. 1 shot conceded, 41 we had. We just couldn't score or defend, apparently. Or defend when it mattered. We couldn't defend when it mattered. That's probably the key word there. In the meantime, Motherwell looking to come forward, but they do lose possession as Jan Cavalcanti loses it himself. Luckily, the ball falls to De Leclerc, who, not De Leclerc. I'm going to have to try and get out of the habit of saying it. I see it, and I just want to say Charles Leclerc or Charles Leclerc if you're, I don't know what pronunciation you want to use, the Formula 1 driver for Ferrari. I keep seeing it and want to say it. De Klerk. I don't know how I'm going to get out of the habit of trying to say De Leclerc. It's not that, it's just De Klerk. I'll get used to it at some point. In the meantime, he's on the ball right now to put the ball into the middle to Lassie Alien, back to De Klerk. De Klerk into the middle, and it's saved by the keeper. All of that for absolutely nothing. Maybe one final chance for Motherwell to try and get a shot, let alone a goal. They've not had a single shot yet in this game, but that ball was not great, and Ad Nilsson, who's just come on as a substitute, can clear it out from the back. Poor defensive work from Motherwell, and Barella does miss. But in the end, it doesn't matter. We've won that one 3-0, a very comfortable win, and another 3 points on the board. Next up then, Monaco in the Champions League. What I need to do before that is make sure I rest everyone for a couple of days. So obviously the game against Monaco is huge. We need to make sure we thrash them and knock them out of the Champions League to give us the best chance possible of beating France in the coefficient points. But we also should tentatively pay attention to the German results. The lineup is not going to change. For me, that is the best lineup that we have, and we need to be at our best if we want to be beating Monaco. So we'll just go again. Submit the team, let's go. Kickoff is upon us. Today we are away from home, playing in the beautiful Monaco on the south coast of France. It's its own country, isn't it, technically? So it's not the south coast of France, it's just Monaco, isn't it? But Monaco's located on the south coast of France, pretty much as Jan Cavalcanti, could have scored a screamer there. This is no good. Lassie Alien has picked up an injury early on in this game. How bad is it? Do we know? Potential upper body injury. Doesn't sound too bad. We'll bring Thad McCray on that right-hand side. He's usually a pretty decent impact sub. But as this first half goes on, not an awful lot happening as it stands at the moment. 10 shots to us, 0 to Monaco. But we are seeing very few highlights, which is a little concerning. So thrash the arms, far from pleased from what I've seen out there. And I'm expecting us to go out and score 4 or 5 goals in the second half. But those 4 or 5 goals are still yet to come with 60 minutes on the clock. Finally, a highlight. Is this the second highlight of the game, I believe, as Thad McCray comes forward. Can he do anything clever with it? He runs. I guess that's clever, to be fair. Thad McCray still running, loses it. That wasn't very clever. We do hold on to possession with Le Cruz on the edge of the area. Into the middle, Thad McCray misses his shot. Not the greatest performance from him today thus far. Varela having a stinker on a 6.3. We'll bring him off for Shaban. Yes. But what we'll do is we'll move Cavalcanti up front. Shaban out wide, Thad McRae through the middle. We've just scored a goal. Le Cruz off for the new guy, and then quickly confirm that because I want to see who's just scored a goal. I think it might be Tam Lumper. I can't believe we've missed that. Rather frustrating. We wait all episode for a goal, at least all game for a goal, and then we miss it because we're doing tactics. Le Cruz, it might be Le Cruz actually. No, Thad McRae, Tam Lumper, edge of the area, top corner. That's a goal. We will continue with the tactical changes though. Varela's going to come off, and this is our first chance on an episode to see our on-loan player from Barcelona. I can't remember his name now. I looked at it a second ago. It will come up in a second when he gets the ball out wide, or the Thad McRae coming forward, nearly scores. Amini Sadie, that's his name. I just looked it up. Amini Sadie. It's not an easy one to remember. It doesn't roll off the tongue particularly well, but he's just scored a goal. You love to see it. His second of the season. Obviously scored earlier on this season at some point in one of the league games. But his first appearance on camera for you lot. He's decided that he wants to make a name for himself. Sandro not winning the header. It was cleared by the defenders, but Shaban's ball into the middle. Headed in by Sadie. And the substitutes combining there to score as a goal. Atletico, I've just seen are 5-0 up in their game as well, so they will temporarily go top of the group unless we score plenty of goals right now. And Shaban, should have scored. But not much really going on in this game in terms of highlights, but it doesn't matter. We've won it 2-0, a nice clean sheet, and we've pushed Monaco down to the bottom end of the group, so a big win in my eyes. Also, big wins for Rangers. You love to see it. That's really good for them. Obviously, we won. Bayern beat Chelsea. That's a bit annoying. I'd rather Chelsea win, obviously, because of the German stuff there. We want to get the German clubs down and out so we can overtake them. Celtic beat Bruges, so wins for all three Scottish clubs. Hoffenheim lose, which is great. Dortmund win, which is not so great. And then, where's the other German team? PSG won, which is not so good, but that's to be expected. Oh, Leipzig, there they are. They won 3-0 as well, so wins for German teams for the most part. Not so good. Although, Kilmarnock hold Hertha Berlin, which is very nice. You love to see that. Well in Kilmarnock, good result for them. And then in the Conference League, Hibs win as well. So it's a good night for Scottish football all around. Next episode, I think we'll come back for Atletico and Monaco once again. We've done Atletico recently in the Club World Championship, so we'll do the second game against them and then the Monaco game as well, which hopefully will see us through our Champions League group. And hopefully we'll see plenty of wins for other Scottish teams, plenty of losses for French teams, and plenty of losses for German teams. Until then, though, thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Have a nice one. Goodbye.